Okay, so imagine this. You're walking into your auditing clerk interview, but like not just prepared. You're feeling like you could teach the class on it. That's what we're aiming for today. We're going deep into all of RoleCatcher's resources, their career and interview guides, all for auditing clerks.
And the coolest thing is RoleCatcher actually uses AI to analyze, those specific job postings. So it's not just generic advice. It's like we're giving you the cheat codes for that specific interview.
Yeah, like having a superpowered study buddy in your pocket, right? So first things first, let's break down like what does an auditing clerk actually do? I feel like it's got to be more than just numbers, right?
Oh, yeah, way more. I always think about it like you're a financial detective, you're making sure everything's accurate and like above board. Businesses make huge decisions based on the data. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of responsibility.
Okay, so high stakes attention to detail. Makes sense. The career guide also mentioned like tech is changing things up a lot.
Absolutely. Software's getting more and more complex, so you definitely need to be comfortable with technology. But the core skills, like that sharp eye for detail, being organized, those are always important.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get to the interview questions, let's talk about this RoleCatcher AI magic. Like how does that actually help with interview prep?
So picture this. You're practicing answers, right? But you're not really sure how they're going to sound in an actual interview. So what RoleCatcher does is its AI analyzes your responses, how you sound, your body language even, and gives you feedback that's tailored to what this employer is looking for.
Whoa, that's like having a personal interview coach on demand. That's pretty wild. Okay, I'm ready. Let's get into these interview questions. What's like the first one they always hit you with?
Almost guaranteed they're going to ask about your experience with auditing software. They want to know you can, hit the ground running.
Okay, so I shouldn't just like list off every program I've ever used in my life.
Not quite. RoleCatcher's AI is super helpful for this. It scans that job description, picks out keywords about specific software. So let's say they mention ACL. Boom. You need to emphasize your ACL
Makes
skills.
sense. Talking their language. I
What?
like it. Okay, this next one from the guide seems a little tricky. What steps do you take to ensure accuracy in your work? I feel like that's a trap.
It is. It's all about showing you're detail-oriented, but like just saying, I double-check everything isn't enough. This is where RoleCatcher comes in, again, highlighting those keywords in the description, like things like cross-referencing or using checklists. Use those words and you're showing them you really get it.
Sneaky. I
Mm,
like it.
yeah.
Okay, this next one's a classic. Can you describe a time when you identified a problem in an audit and how you resolved it? So this is my time to brag, right?
It is sort of, but again, you got to tailor it. RoleCatcher can help you pick a story that highlights skills they mentioned in the job description. Did they mention data analysis, teamwork? Pick a story that shows those off.
So it's not just about having a good story. It's about having the right story. I'm getting it now. Okay, what about when they ask, how do you handle conflicting priorities or deadlines? I mean, everyone juggles a lot of stuff. How do we make that sound impressive?
Think about that job description again. Is it a fast-paced environment? Talk about prioritizing, delegating, staying calm. Is it more independent? Highlight your time management and how you meet deadlines consistently.
Okay, so roll catcher to the rescue again. Got it. Okay, I feel like we're in a good groove here. What's the next question we should prep for?
Let's tackle this one. Can you explain your understanding of gap? Now, this might seem straightforward, but it's your chance to show you're not just, crunching numbers. You get the bigger picture.
Okay, help me out here. What exactly is GAAP? I know it's important, but
So think of GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles, as like the rule book for accounting. It's how we make sure everyone's speaking the same like financial language, which is super important for audits, right? Imagine a puzzle with pieces from totally different sets. Total chaos GAAP keeps everything organized and comparable.
okay. So when they ask about GAAP, it's not enough to just like know the definition.
Right, you got to connect it to the job. RoleCatcher is helpful here too. It can help tailor your answer based on the industry or the type of auditing they mention. Publicly traded company, mention GAAP's role in their financial reporting. Inventory audits, you can highlight how GAAP applies there.
Gotcha. Show them, yeah. Just understand how it all fits together.
Yeah.
I like it. All right. What about those questions that are about like specific types of audits?
Oh, yeah, they'll definitely ask about those, like internal audits, external audits, inventory payroll. It's all about showing you've got experience in the areas they actually care about.
Okay, let's take internal audits as an example. What kind of points should I be hitting on there?
Depends what the job description emphasizes. Do they talk about risk management? Talk about your experience identifying financial risks? Is all about compliance? Mention making sure everyone follows the rules and policies?
So again, it's about tailoring your answer to what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I swear RoleCatcher is going to be working overtime for us.
It's like a personal assistant for your brain. right?
Yeah.
Now, external audits, those are a bit different, right?
Yeah, that's where like independent auditors come in to check the company's books. So I guess we should highlight our experience working with those external auditors, providing all the documentation and making sure that whole process runs smoothly.
Exactly. And again, use RoleCatcher to figure out which parts of external audits are most relevant. Do they talk about financial reporting? Talk about your experience preparing those statements? Do they mention a specific audit firm? Mention you're familiar with their methods?
Okay, it's all about connecting the dots.
Got it.
All right. I'm feeling pretty confident about those. What about inventory and payroll audits? Those seem pretty specialized.
They are, but same principles apply. For inventory audits, you want to focus on accuracy, identifying discrepancies, and investigating what caused them. For payroll, it's all about showing you understand the regulations, reviewing records, resolving any issues that come up.
So basically show them you can handle the nitty-gritty details. All right, before we move on to even more interview questions, let's take a little detour and talk about career advancement. The career guide mentions some exciting paths beyond just the entry-level role.
Absolutely. Think big picture. Where do you see yourself going? Senior auditing clerk, audit supervisor, maybe even transitioning into a broader accounting role.
The guide also really emphasizes certifications like the CIA, the CFE, CPA. Those are kind of like leveling up your character in a video game, right?
Exactly. They show employers you're serious and that you've got the expertise to handle the tough stuff. Plus, connecting with organizations like the IIA or the ACFE can open up a lot of doors. Networking resources, all that good stuff.
So even though we're laser focused on this interview, we're also planting seeds for the future.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, let's dive back into those interview questions and see what else we need to be ready for.
Okay, so they might throw you a bit of a curveball and ask can you describe your experience working with large volumes of data? But don't just say yes. Really paint a picture for them.
Okay, so I'm picturing myself surrounded by spreadsheets swimming in numbers, but seriously, it's about more than just handling the data, right? It's about making sense of it all.
Exactly. They want to know you can spot patterns, discrepancies, really extract insights from all that data. That's where RoleCatcher comes in handy. The AI can highlight any data analysis skills or software mentioned in the job posting.
Oh, okay, I get it. So if they mention data visualization, I could talk about a time I used those tools to maybe uncover a trend or solve a problem, way more impactful than just saying, oh yeah, I'm good with data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Show, don't tell. Okay, another classic question they love to ask is, how do you stay organized when working with multiple projects or deadlines? I mean, everyone juggles multiple things, right? They want to know you have a system.
Okay, so instead of just saying oh, I'm organized, should I talk about specific tools or techniques I use?
That's a great start. Think about what the job description emphasizes again. Is it a fast-paced environment? Talk about project management tools, collaboration, prioritizing your tasks. If it's more of an independent role, highlight your personal system for staying on track.
Okay, so it's all about aligning my answer with what they need. I feel like RoleCatcher is like our personal translator, helping us speak their language.
It really is like a secret weapon. All right, let's shift gears a bit. Auditing clerks need to have strong communication skills too. They might ask you something like, can you describe a time when you had to explain a complex financial issue to someone who wasn't familiar with accounting?
Oh, I've definitely been there. Trying to explain things to my family is like teaching calculus to a cat. But in an energy setting, it's more about showing you can, break down complex information into plain English, right?
Exactly. Patience and clarity are key. Think about a time you successfully explained a financial concept to a non-accountant, and use that STAR method: situation, task, action, result. It's a great way to structure your answer.
The STAR method. It's like a cheat code for interview stories. Okay, what about teamwork? It feels like every job posting mentions collaborating these days.
You're right. And they might ask something like, can you describe a time when you had to work as part of a team to achieve a common goal? This is your chance to really shine.
So just saying, oh, I'm a team player, isn't going to cut it. Do you think RoleCatcher can help me choose the best teamwork story from my experience?
Absolutely. The AI can actually analyze the job description and suggest stories that highlight the specific team dynamics they're looking for. Did they mention a collaborative environment? Choose a story where you brainstormed delegated tasks and supported your teammates.
Okay, so it's all about showcasing the right kind of teamwork. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay, brace yourselves. This next question is a little intense. Can you describe a situation where you faced an ethical dilemma at work and how you handled it?
Yeah, this one's a test of character. They want to know you have a strong moral compass and can navigate those tricky situations.
It feels like there's a right and a wrong answer here. Any tips on how to approach this one?
Honestly is key. Don't try to make yourself look like a hero. Choose a situation where you faced a real dilemma, even if it was a small one. Explain how you analyzed the situation, considered different perspectives, and ultimately made a decision that you felt was ethical.
And maybe mention any resources I used, like talking to a supervisor or reviewing company policies.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That shows you take ethics seriously.
Okay, let's lighten things up a bit. They might ask about your commitment to professional development with a question like, what steps are you taking to stay current with the latest developments in accounting and auditing?
Okay, this is where I get to geek out about all the learning I'm doing. Should I mention certifications I'm working towards? Like the CIA, CSA, or CPA?
Those are great examples. And
Yeah.
don't forget about conferences, professional journals, online forums, anything that shows you're proactive and you're hungry for knowledge.
I also participate in mentorship programs and like internal training offered by my current company. Those count too, right? Absolutely. It's all about showing them you're committed to continuous learning and staying at the top of your game. Now, here's a curveball they might throw. What are your salary expectations?
Ugh, this question always makes me sweat. Any advice on how to handle this gracefully?
Research is key here. Look at salary ranges for similar roles in your area using websites like Glassdoor or salary.com, and consider your experience the specific requirements of the job.
So I should have a range in mind, but also be open to discussing it based on, the full compensation package and the specific responsibilities of the role.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to turn it around and ask them about their salary range for the position.
Yeah.
It shows you're savvy and you're interested in a fair negotiation.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit more confident about that one now.
Hmm.
What about those questions that are more about fit? Like, why are you interested in this role? Or why do you want to work for our company?
Those are all about connecting the dots between your skills, your interests, and the company's values. RoleCatcher can be really helpful here. The AI can identify keywords in the job description and the company website that really resonate with you.
Okay, so if they emphasize teamwork, I could talk about my collaborative work style. Or if they're really focused on innovation, I could highlight my passion for finding creative solutions.
Exactly. It's about showing them you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for the right job.
This has been such a helpful deep dive into interview prep.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a toolbox full of strategies and answers now.
And remember, RoleCatcher is like your secret weapon.
Yeah.
It's there to help you tailor your approach to each specific job posting.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's take a moment to reflect on the bigger picture. What does a successful career as an auditing clerk actually look like? So we've talked a ton about these interview questions. I feel way more prepared than I did an hour ago. But before we wrap up, let's zoom out a bit. What does a successful career as an auditing clerk actually look like?
That's a great question. And it's something to think about, even as you're prepping for this interview, because it's not just about getting the job. It's about, thriving in that role and building a career you're actually excited about.
Right, yeah. The career guide talked about different industries where auditing clerks work. It's not just like stuffy corporate offices, right?
Actually not.
Yeah.
You could be in manufacturing, healthcare, government, All sorts of places need people to keep their finances in order. Think about what kind of environment gets you excited.
Yeah, and I also mentioned how technology is like changing the game. What kind of skills should we be thinking about to stay ahead of the curve?
Data analytics is huge. Learning software like ACL or IDA can really make you stand out. And, as automation takes over those more routine tasks, those critical thinking and problem-solving skills become even more valuable.
So even though we're focusing on the entry-level role, we should be thinking about those long-term goals and how to keep learning and growing.
Absolutely. Certifications are a great way to show you're serious about your career. The CIA, CIA, CFE, CPA, those can open doors to leadership roles in specialized areas.
And those professional organizations like the IIA and the ACFE can connect you with mentors and resources to keep you sharp. It's like having a whole support system in your corner.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to emphasize something we touched on earlier. Research. It's not just about skimming the company website. Dig deeper. Look at their financials, recent news, even the interviewers' LinkedIn profiles.
Oh, I love that. It shows you're really interested and that you've gone the extra mile.
Yeah.
And you can use...
You're so right. Confidence is key in an interview. It shows you believe in yourself and your abilities. And remember, it's a two-way street. Come prepared with some thoughtful questions for them.
Right, asking good questions shows you're engaged and that you're genuinely interested in the opportunity.
Yeah.
What kind of questions would really impress them?
You could ask about their team culture, the specific challenges of the role, or maybe how they see the department evolving in the future.
This has been such a helpful deep dive. From understanding the auditing clerk role and tackling those tough interview questions to even planning for career advancement, I feel like I have a whole new level of confidence now.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI tools are there to personalize your prep every step of the way. It's like having a career coach and an interview expert right there in your pocket, ready to help you shine.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought to think about. What unique skills or experiences can you bring to an auditing clerk role to really make a lasting impression?
Think about what sets you apart. What are you passionate about? How can you use your strengths to contribute to their success?
And remember, your journey doesn't end with the interview. Keep learning, keep growing, and never stop reaching for your goals.
Now go out there and rock that interview.